Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the Waterman and D-Train Show.
Digitized live and at Computer Studio in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the Waterman and D-Train Show. I am your host, D-Train, and that's our loud crowd. And they're cheering for your man, Dave, the Waterman. Dave, how are you?
What is up, brother? How you doing, D-Train? How you doing, Gordon?
Doing well.
All right, man. Glad to hear that. How you doing, D-Train?
I'm doing well, man. I'm a little tired, but been beating myself up physically a lot lately.
Bro, I have seen that.
As we all know, I think I talked about it a little bit 2 weeks ago-ish. I got a wild hair up my ass and decided it would be a good idea to go out and run a 5K. And I trained for it for a whole whopping 4 days, and it really wasn't hard. I actually was more impressed with my overall time than I thought I was going to be. But like a day after that, I'm like, well, what's next?
Yeah.
Let's do a half marathon.
Crazy, bro.
And so I would say since that 5K spread out over a few days, I have probably ran close to 30-ish or more miles.
Wow, man.
And so as part of the regimen I found online, on Mondays what you do is you go out and you run either on treadmill or on street, preferably the street, but with my work schedule I end up running on the treadmill, which is completely different. But you go out and you run 4 miles. Okay, well, that's only 0.9 more than the 5K, not a big deal. Tuesday you take off. Wednesday you do intervals where for the first mile you run where you keep your heart rate at 130 beats per second, which is really nothing. That's pretty much a jaunt. And there's Dave with the volume.
Sorry about that.
And
I got it.
so you do that for the first mile, and for a quarter mile you run as fast as you pretty much can, and then for the next half mile you run at your 5K speed, your normal 9-minute, 10-minute mile pace, or a little bit shorter. Then you do another quarter mile at the full speed. Then basically you do it until you off and on until you get to 4 miles. I did that, and then you take Thursday off, and then Friday, and then Saturday you're supposed to go out and run 6 miles. So I got up Saturday, and I made it 1.5 miles. My body's like, fuck you.
You're right. I'm done.
Dude, what is your problem?
Yeah.
My calves were burning. My ankles are hurting. My quads are... And so I was like, well, you know what? I started coming up with excuses. You know, when I ran a 5K, I had to drive downtown. I had to park. I ended up walking 4,000 steps before I even started. I had a half hour to stretch and all this. So I'll just go home, and tomorrow, being Sunday, i.e. today, I'll get up an hour early. I'll stretch. I'll walk. So I actually walked 2,000 steps before I even started trying to jog.
Right.
Made it another mile. My legs like, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm burnt.
Knock it off. You're beating yourself up. So because the half marathon's in 3 more weeks. So I decided I'm going to give my legs a few days worth of rest. Of course, then I went out and rode my bike for 2.5 miles for doing the show today. But that's
good God, man.
And so I need to lay off the running, maybe do some weightlifting, give my legs at least 4 or 5 days to pull the fuck out.
Yeah.
And now, because I know I can do the half marathon as far as finishing it. I'm not worried about whether I make the mileage or not.
Yeah.
It's making it in a semi-respectable time.
Yeah, you're just trying to finish in just a good average time. I mean, you're not trying to win the thing, you know.
By no means. But, I just want to, kind of like with the 5K, my goal was 30 minutes, which is in middle of the pack, which is where I finished, so I was fine with it. But anyhow, so... but the cool thing about waking up early, and even though I failed at running... Yeah. People always talk about how short the weekends are. You want your weekend to fucking last? Wake up at the ass. I woke up, ran a mile, came home, fell asleep, woke up at 11, mowed the grass,
I was about to say, cut the lawn.
went shopping, and I felt like it should be 7 o'clock, and I still had 4 more hours before I had to do the podcast.
Sweet,
so
man.
The upside is it makes your weekend last a hell of a lot longer.
Make use of that good weekend time. Now, with the running aspect, are you taking any kind of supplements?
No,
nothing's changed. Are you hydrating yourself with sports drinks afterwards? Obviously, I mean,
water.
Because you had quit that stuff.
No, I basically water. Now, when I do go to the gym and I come home, I do drink like a muscle milk or one of the generic versions.
Yeah.
But no, that is part of the problem. I try to drink water before I go. Yeah. Because, to be honest, even when I'm on the treadmill at the gym and I do the 3 miles, I don't drink any water during that time.
Really?
the whole time. Now, when I ran the 5K, they only had one water stop, which I passed the first time. But when I came back through, I just grabbed a little water. But it's like the water that Dennis gives you.
Yeah, there's like little shot glasses.
So I just took a shot just to get your mouth wet.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the other thing too, is training yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of people use water as a crutch. They way overhydrate. I mean, I see people on treadmill with these huge, big ass things of water, and every 10 seconds they're just drinking. It's like you're plenty hydrated.
Yeah, it would seem as though to me, if your legs are saying that to you, I mean...
Yeah, I just gotta listen to my body.
Yeah, electrolytes and things, because, you know, you can, especially with summer coming, bro, and if you're going to continue to do this running and all that stuff, your body's going to...
I'm just going to do it earlier in the morning. That's all
well, that too. Obviously, that's why you see a lot of people running early in the morning, you know? But, I mean, bro, you got a good pair of shoes, obviously?
No.
No? Well, then,
I have a pair of Adidas running shoes, but from what I understand, even though Adidas was owned by one of the brothers who made the Puma, which they made the shoe that Jesse Owen won the 38 Olympic with.
No joke.
Apparently, Adidas is not the premier shoe to run with, so I need to go out and get one of those die-hard, hardcore running brand shoes, but they do have some for like $50, so it's not like I got to go out and drop an inordinate
$250 or something.
An inordinate amount of money on it. It's just so what I took that into consideration yesterday. So this morning I broke out my old Under Armour shoes. I have a pair of shoes that I had before my Adidas, which were one of the first series of cross trainers that Under Armour put out a few years ago. So I ran in those this morning with the hypothesis that the Under Armour, it appears to have a better arch support. Okay. I think the problem with my Adidas is they really don't have great arch support. It doesn't have what they call a neutral sole. Mm-hmm. The sole's raked, almost like a motorcycle.
All right.
And that is what can cause shin splints, is when your foot's like at this instead of in a neutral.
Instead of being a neutral.
And so I need to get me a running shoe with what they call a neutral sole, so that when my foot hits the ground, it's
everything's
level.
Yeah,
not hitting a rake, thus bending your foot up, causing your ankle to go up, causing shin splints.
Yeah, it almost
But I'm by no means a running expert. I'm just picking this up.
You're just starting it
as I go along.
With the running and everything, is there? It seems as though, from what you're telling me, and I'm picking up on this, is that there seems to be 4Ks and 5Ks quite often here in around town or around South Florida here. Is that something that you're finding? A chance to enter into more races and more kind of cross-training stuff going on? I mean,
there's a lot of them because, especially with 5Ks and half marathons, and usually when they have a half marathon, they have a 5K it's the same course. You just stop after 3.1 miles. But obviously you have your hardcore cats, and then you just have your leisurely people. I mean, like with the 5K I did before, and they told you when you lined up, hey, fast runners up front, medium runners in the middle, strollers and dogs in the back. Because there's literally people with strollers and dogs out there.
Oh, no joke.
So a lot of people just walk it just to do it because they enjoy walking.
Right.
And so
mingle with people and everything,
And so, yes, there are a lot of them because you do have your diehards who run them, but they are not diehard events, meaning they're not like a Spartan race or a Tough Mudder where they're meant for go out there and bust your ass. You have your diehards up front, and then in the back, the people who just want to do it just to say they did it, whether they're with their friends, they're the chicks who speed walk the malls on the weekend.
That's cool, man.
And there's even coming up for young kids to get them into shape. They're having what's called the inflatable 5K. And I'm sure you're going to go through the same course 4 or 5 times, but it's a course of inflatable obstacles and jumpies that's supposed to equal up 3.1 miles so that kids can have fun on the
have fun with them while they're doing 5K. It. That's a good way to get the kids interested in participating in sports, I would imagine, getting out and about. If you make it a little bit fun and not so serious sometimes, it'll get the kids out of the house. And I think it's a great thing what you're doing running like that. That just seems... You have been pushing it because I've been seeing your posts here lately, and I'm going, man, this guy is a workout machine, man.
Well, it's not even that. It goes back to my addictive personality. Anything I've ever done, whether it's skateboarding, football, snowboard, World War II reenacting, anything I get involved with, just my natural instinct is to go all out. I don't really do anything half-assed.
Right. I know that for sure.
Like when I was doing all the weightlifting, the reason I got into running is because I injured my elbow and I've been getting pain radiating down my hand and my grip sucks. And so to give my upper body time to rehabilitate, I needed a way to change up my regiment and maintain my weight loss without causing further injury to my hands.
That's cool, man.
But the crazy thing I found out too when you do these 5Ks, it's getting hot in here.
Yeah, it's getting a little warm.
Last week we had the fan on, but people said they could hear it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any truth in that. They said they could hear it in the audio.
That's why I dressed light tonight, brother.
But one thing I found out from doing a 5K is your body retains water weight for a few days afterwards. So you would think you'd lose a bunch of weight, but your body actually retains anywhere between 3 to 8 pounds of water weight for a few days afterwards because of the muscle tears and all that.
I'll be damned, man. That's pretty wild. That is wild. I used to run a lot as a kid, you know. Obviously, it was kind of a cross-training thing with
I'm going to turn on this fan, and if it gets
smoking
too
cigarettes
annoying
and
with
stuff.
people, we'll turn it off. But I'm like sweating in my brand new hat.
You want me to hit it on, or are you good?
I'm going to turn it on low.
All right, brother. Oh, that's right. You're tall enough. You can reach right over. I'd have to literally get up. Oh, there he is. Gordon, do you do any running? You do any sort of weightlifting training, gyms?
I am trying to actually get back in the gym. I'm a little too fat to run right now.
Okay.
Just kills my ankles and my knees. I spend a lot of time in construction, snowboarding, and that, so I'm a little wore out.
Yeah, over the years.
Donnie was Don was talking about his grip, and mine's shot, and I think it's just all the years of being on tools.
Yeah.
I can't. My thumbs are about non-existent anymore for strength.
Wow. It definitely happens when you're kind of do what we do, especially us three, working with hammers and
Well, it's funny.
tools and stuff like that. My grips are the same way. I've got like arthritis. Plus, getting caught on fire didn't help.
Well, back when I used to build ambulances, it was all 12 volts, so we would use those ratcheted wire butt crimpers all day, like when you install car stereos.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that for 12 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife at the time would get upset when I got home because I wouldn't massage her feet. I'm like, you understand I've been cracking walnuts for
I know,
12
right?
hours? I'm essentially cracking walnuts for 12 hours, and you want me to come home and rub your goddamn feet? And by the way, you don't have a job. You've been sent home all day.
Yeah, no
rubbing my goddamn
doubt.
feet.
No doubt.
Exactly.
That's funny, man. That's pretty damn funny, bro. Hey, can you please rub my feet? I've been cracking walnuts all day.
Now, we had a listener on YouTube last week who, ironically enough, his text message came through like 3 days later on the
Did
app,
it really?
and I was talking to him. But give us a call, 772-207-4150.
Absolutely.
772-207-4150. Let me know what you got going on. Now, Gordon, you are about to dust off your snowboard.
That's what I'm
Hit
hearing.
the slopes here soon, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna do some fat old man laps tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh,
that'll be exercise, bro. That'll get you starting to get tuned up right there, man.
You're one of those fancy fellas who gets off them government holidays, huh?
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's
The way
right.
it's got to be. I mean, you got to find some balance somewhere. We work hard enough.
Uh-huh.
On work days.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So where are you going to go hit out there in Vegas, man? What's the closest range or ski slopes to you?
Range, you ain't going shooting. He already did
Or,
that.
mountain range
So-
is what I was...
Just to the west of Vegas, you have the Spring Mountains.
Yeah.
It's about the top of Lee Canyon. That's where I'll be going. Is about 11,000 feet. So there's
Wow.
quite a bit of drop.
Yeah.
They've got great snow. I think over 120 inches so far this year, and it's snowed up there right now. So I'm pretty stoked to get up early and get up there.
That will be cool, man. That'll be damn cool. I love that, man. Hey, that's one thing I miss. Is not being able to kind of snowboard and surf and stuff in the same day. Being out in California, you're able to do that. Great exercise, man. Wouldn't smoke as heavy. Well, D-Train, I got to say, man, you are pumping it out with the whole running and getting into that sort of thing. That is really bitching, man. That is really cool.
It's just something
you gotta,
I do to find occupy my
Well,
time.
yeah,
All
but
I do is work.
I know.
And it's like, well,
But you get you a good pair of shoes, man. I
my-
think you're going to enjoy it even more. You know what I'm saying? If you get the right footwear and start getting you some of those socks, whatever the hell they call them, like half dries or something like that. I forget what they call them. Dry fits.
yeah, the dry fit stuff.
Yeah, the
kinda
dry
like
fit
shirt I
stuff.
wore.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Well, not to really change it too much on your thing on your exercise, man. But I'll change from
My computer is
exercise.
just like crashing over here. I got way
Is
too
it?
much shit going on. Oh yeah.
I'll change it from exercise to anti-exercise.
Okay.
Just for a second, because let's see, this Saturday night, man, I'm chilling out. Excuse me, Friday night. Sunday right now, right? I don't even know what day it is.
Sunday.
So as you know, I roll my own cigarettes.
Yep.
And I have purchased a bag of very, very bad tobacco. And the reason I say this is there's no smell initially when you open the bag.
Okay.
But when you light the cigarettes, it smells like cat urine. You got that right. And so I started smoking this cig the other night, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, this tastes like I'm literally like a cat just pissed in my mouth.
Isn't that a similar smell to meth?
No, well, ammonia, not really, man. That's a whole different thing. I don't want to get into that, but
Where did you acquire said tobacco?
well, said tobacco was at said tobacco store, one of those where they sell all the paraphernalia and everything, the guy over there.
Is it deeply discounted?
No, it's actually, it's in the mid-range grade.
It just reminded me of a T-shirt I used to see floating around Kentucky in the flea markets back in the day. It was a picture of a dog pissing on tobacco plants, and it said, "Cigarettes taste funny."
Well, that's what I was curious about. I started thinking about it, and I said, these people, who knows where this tobacco comes from? It's probably like off the floor. Like there's a couple of brands out there that are fairly on the cheap side if you buy the packs. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And from what I understand, that's floor tobacco that they've decided to open up a cigarette company with. Well, I'm wondering if this is the same sort of stuff that they're picking up off the floor. They're putting it in bags, is selling it under Kentucky Select or whatever they want to say it is, North Carolina Gold, and sell it to you, because I'm sitting there going, there's got to be in these tobacco processing plants wild cats.
Well, I was going to say, if it is Kentucky Gold, and if it's not coming from your Philip Morris's and your R.J. Reynolds, it could be coming from a Kentucky family who has barn cats in their tobacco barn, who has a male cat who's been spraying the leaves.
That's what I'm thinking, and I'm sitting there, and my dad comes out, and he goes, "What?" As soon as he opened up the door, he comes out back outside, and he says, he says, "Man, what the hell happened out here? Did you chase it off?" And I said, "It's in my mouth, bro." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "I got cat piss in my mouth, man." I said, "I don't know what's going on." I said, "This cigarette is like the cat urinated. I don't know, the urine and the spray is similar. It's the same damn thing, isn't it?" Yeah. Right? So, I mean,
the spray's more hormonal.
Well, the spray's like more hormonal, exactly. And I'm going, bro, the whole bag of tobacco's been saturated with this stuff.
Why don't you go back and ask for a refund?
That's what I plan on doing, but they close on Sunday, which was.
Blame it on you. So, well, your cat peed on your stuff.
That's what I had thought. I thought I rolled some up, stuck them on the tobacco tray, left them out. The one animal that I do have, a cat, jumped on it and sprayed it. Decided to spray it.
You know what's wrong with cats?
But man, wow,
what's that? Wrong with cats?
He's an asshole, sir.
Yeah.
I got 4 cats, and 2 of them are major assholes.
They're
asshole, major asshole.
That's it, plain and simple. Hit it again.
Dude, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yep, you're damn right.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Firing assholes.
They are complete dicks.
Yeah.
The one I got, if you don't open that door, it'll just sit there and just meow, meow, meow.
I got a Bengal cat who only drinks out of the bathroom sink.
One of those.
And if you don't go and turn on the water, he will knock your shit on the floor.
Oh, really?
I got a hairbrush with a broken handle.
Right, start.
My pomade, I buy the pomade. It's in a red cup with a twist cap. He's constantly knocking on the floor and always breaks it, hits the tile, then it dries out. So then I put it in a wood box. He then gets it up, flips it out, and then knocks it on the floor.
Dude. Bro, they are.
Or he'll go into the kitchen and find.
But isn't that the job of a predator, is to be an asshole?
He's a
but you'd think, after getting.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
How many? Are they all male cats?
No, I only have one male cat.
Okay. That's the one that's the real dick?
Yeah, he's a real asshole.
That's the real asshole, right?
Yeah, he's a major asshole.
Yeah, man, because they do, man. They will trash your stuff, man, without you even knowing, or to wake you up in the middle of the night, man. Mm-hmm. This cat I got is just, I mean, bro, the damn thing gets cooked teriyaki chicken every night on the freaking grill, man.
Why?
How lucky is that son of a bitch?
I don't know. Does it like teriyaki chicken?
That's all it'll eat. It's all. I mean, it eats cat food, and I've been kind of being an asshole to the cat here lately because I'm going. You've gotten too damn relaxed about just coming up and meowing and waking me up all night, every night, because it wants to go outside. And I'm like, and then it'll go outside, and then it'll turn right around, look through the sliding door at you, and then meow to get back in. Yep. It just wants to see you.
Yeah. Stupid human trick.
Exactly. It wants to see you get up, open the door, it'll go out and close it. It wants to see you do something. And I'm like,
you're really in charge, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, are you kidding me? You've gotten, you're a real son of a bitch. Mm-hmm. But man, oh man, so that's the whole, with the whole cat thing. I'm thinking my cat either sprayed the tobacco or I just got a bad batch, man. I don't know.
Wait, you said you've been an asshole to the cat, so.
I have been here the past, 2 weeks. I'm not being like.
He's an asshole, sir.
Yeah, I'm just like not bowing to its will to jump up all the time, It's like, come on, man.
Well, then you brought that on yourself.
Pissy tobacco, that may change your tune.
Well, the rest of the house does it too, and I'm like, you guys need to not do that for the cat, Let the damn thing do, if it's gonna stay, if it wants to stay outside and it's cold, I'm gonna let that sumbitch sit out there for a little bit. It's got a blanket, it can curl up, Mm-hmm. I mean, damn. I don't know that whole cat piss in the mouth sort of thing, man. I was like, come on, man. I've done stunts and stuff, man, but that wasn't one I was prepping on.
Yeah, there's a kink for everything.
Yeah, somebody likes that stuff, man. Not me. I was pissed. I was so upset, man.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, very funny. Dun-dun-dun. Oh, man.
So I saw something the other day that concerned me.
What do you got?
It only concerned me because I've thought about reinstalling one into my truck. And
Uh-oh.
Now, we all grew up in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all from the generation of subwoofers and amplifiers.
Oh, hell
and all
yeah.
That. And I still have a 10-inch subwoofer in my garage that I've been thinking about building a custom box to put in the back of my truck behind the seat.
Nice.
But I was at a store the other day, and here's boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. And he wasn't cranking it, but you could tell he had a system in it.
Yeah.
And I turned, and the guy's probably maybe 5-6 years older than me.
Oh, yeah?
But
okay.
that means... But he
grew up in that Rockford Fosgate era.
Yes, but much like when you watch TV and you're watching whether it's a reality show and they say, here's Bob, 45, and you look at Bob and you're like, fuck, do I look that old?
Yeah, right.
I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, God, here's an old man with a system in his car. And I kind of thought, well, how weird it looked. Like, wow, here's an old man.
All these middle-aged white men with systems in their cars and hear them coming a mile away.
Yeah.
How weird it is to see an quote-unquote old man bump, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that would be me if I went through the process of putting the."
Yeah, you'd be in your 40s now with the system,
now we're
bro.
old.
Bro, it's just so bad.
And it just looks weird to see, and even though the young kids aren't really into the systems anymore,
Which is weird.
It just
because us old people are.
Well, no, it's because as you've explained before, we got a generation of kids who grew up listening to music on their iPhones without the earbuds in, so they're used to listening to it through a
nothing but tweeters.
1/4-inch speaker on their mono speaker on their cell phone, no bass response.
Well, God, there's no way I could listen to music that way.
It just feels, it just looks so weird to see this, what society would view as an old man listening, bumping music in the parking lot of a car.
I tell you what,
Yeah, looking over.
I heard a story on some millennials who was brought in a Sonance booth at an audio expo. And they said, hey, you come in here and listen to this. Listen to it on a full hi-fi stereo on analog.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids crying because they didn't realize how the depth that there is in music.
I can see that.
Well,
and the dynamicness.
Well, it's not even their fault because working in radio, whenever we would load music into the system, you'd have to set what's called the trip tone. That's what tells the system to fade into the next song and or commercial instead of having dead air. And when you would pull up the old music, I say old, but music that's been in there for the last 5 years or longer, you can actually see the peaks. Just like when you look at any audio system recording sound, you can see the peaks. When you load in these brand new songs like Imagine Dragons or Five Finger Dead Punch, it's just a big flat line.
Yeah.
It's so compressed and so overmodulated. It's just as you said, the kids who grew up on this newer music, they don't realize the depth in the stereo. And there goes my computer just crapping out.
Listen to that. Yeah.
Well, it's because I got an older computer. I'm running.
I know.
I'm running the soundboard through it. I'm running Gordon's Skype through it. I'm on Facebook watching tweets. I got my soundboard running. It's just
You're right.
I'm overworking this machine.
Yeah, it's maxing out. And you're right though we are going to be those guys that, because I love a good sound system, and anybody that knows music would appreciate it if they had one in their car. Like you say, some of the younger millennial generations grew up with their cell phones and the whole earbuds and listening to music that way, and where there's no bass, it's just highs. And that's why you see a lot of those guys that are riding around town, and we've talked about this before, where they have that little
they got the bullhorn.
They got the bullhorn, and that's all they're playing.
And they're playing hip hop.
And they're playing hip hop.
But
and all you hear is
bass does not work through hip hop. Through a bullhorn.
Nope.
And so it's basically like they're driving around with really shitty spoken word lyrics.
Yeah.
Because all you hear is the hi-hat, and then the rap lyrics, which modern-day rap lyrics are fucking god-awful. It's like we've explained before. It's like listening to bluegrass music through a system that's designed to remove the banjo.
Exactly.
What's the point?
What is the point in
now,
listening?
if you want to offset the two 12-inch subwoofers you have in your trunk, by all means, but they don't have that. They just got the 6x9s, the 4x5s, and then a bullhorn underneath their damn hood.
It is
driving around like the goddamn ice cream man.
Yeah, and all I can think of is Easy cruising down the street in my 6'4", that ding 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 ding, cruising down the street in my 6'4", and I'm going.
Hey, speaking of songs being jammed from a car, is there any music that you used to just blare and love with the windows down, and now it's okay? I'm not going to really want everybody to hear this anymore.
Yes, I run into this problem, and I got to handle this very delicately. I've been wanting to bring this up on the show, but I haven't because I don't want to offend easily offendable. But I don't know how many easily offendable people we have listening to the show.
I don't think so, man. I think everybody's pretty manned up or womaned up.
I am concerned that I am too white and too old to enjoy the 90s hip-hop and rap that I used to drive around to Columbus listening to on my system with the windows down because there's too many N-words. For example, when I go to the gym and I'm lifting weights, I listen to the DMX channel on Pandora.
Okay, nice.
First verse of Rough Riders Anthem is the N-word. If I pulled it up, it's probably in there 48 times. Now, back in the 90s, there was kind of a unwritten agreement that if you're singing along with a piece of material that was written by an African American, because after all, through the 80s, your Naughty by Natures, your NWAs, your Luke Skywalker, all those cats who went to jail because they were cussing too much, because they were too vulgar, kind of like with comedians.
Yeah.
People fought hard, went to jail, and fought a lot of fines over censorship.
Yeah, they did.
And so, in order to support the music and not to censor people's music, there was kind of an understanding that if you're rapping along with a song written by an African American and the N-word is in there, no one is going to look at you like you're a racist because you're rapping along word for word with the song, because you're not going to censor that artist's song because you're supporting them. You are buying their music. And that first DMX album, I had to buy 3 of them because I ran them into the ground. But I'm at the gym and I'm listening to DMX, I'm listening to 50 Cent, I'm listening to Tupac, Biggie.
Yeah, man.
Going back in for Eazy-E, all that stuff. And I'm wanting to rap along with it, but then I got to stop.
Yeah.
Because and we all know what happens when you have headphones on. You talk louder than you normally think you do.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I don't want to risk saying it.
It could easily slip out and sound really loud, and you'd be like,
Yeah. It's like,
whoa.
And so it gets to the point like, do I stop listening to it?
Yeah.
But if you stop listening to it, isn't that kind of a F you to the artist? Because with Pandora, much like modern day radio, every time you listen to that song, that artist gets kicked a penny, a half a nickel, whatever.
And then it's also...
And so are you saying because... Now, if you are one of these people who get offended, are you telling me as a white 40-year-old person, I shouldn't listen to that music because I don't understand? Well, how am I supposed to understand the struggle if I'm not allowed listening to the music, i.e. the story of them explaining to me the struggle?
What they've done,
And furthermore, by you telling me that I shouldn't listen to it, you're kind of being racist because you're saying my white ass can't contribute to this guy financially by listening to his music, thus they get paid every time I listen to.
Damn.
And so it's just like...
There's also the chance, Don, that you would actually articulate really well and somebody just sees you mouthing the word.
True.
That and that's you hit it dead on the nose.
Yeah.
And I do sometimes just mouth along, but not say it verbally. But then I got to stop. And once again, if you're listening to a DMX song, it's every other word. If you're listening to a Bone Thugs and Harmony song, any song of Wu-Tang off of 36 Chambers.
Oh, yeah, good album.
You're just, and once again, this is all stuff that no one had a problem with me bumping around on the west side of Columbus. Mm-hmm. And it's just crazy.
But now you feel that those eyeballs on you when you're cruising around town and you got your windows down and you're jamming it. You don't want to turn it up too loud, but you don't want it too low because you want to jam it because you're having a good jam
I ain't worried
session.
about that because I'll be gone in 10 seconds. But when you're at the same gym you're at every night,
Jim.
surrounded by the same hardcore guys, you don't want.
Yeah, I can see that now. Especially
like,
in a.
It's like wow, and like Nick Saint just said on Facebook, maybe it's start time I start working out to country music, but it doesn't give you that oomph. It doesn't give you
that a little adrenaline rush.
Because when I
that rhythm.
Yeah, that adrenaline
exactly,
rush.
because when I run on the treadmill, I listen to what I call the New Age bluegrass, the Dead South, Turnpike Troubadours, White Buffalo, because they're fast paced.
Yeah.
They got the banjo, but then they got the melody of that upright bass, don don, and so you run along to the pace of that song, and when I ran the 5K, I was running along that stuff.
You get that rhythm,
but when I'm doing lifting weights or doing crunches, I turn on, DMX, or I'll turn on Machine Gun Kelly. I'll turn on something that is a little heavier, a little more pissed off, something that motivates you, get you moving weight,
wanting to get pumped.
But once again, it's like, oh yeah, you're a 40-year-old white guy now, so
yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, you can't throw. Yeah, right. I mean, it's like you feel like, hey, I got to throw those albums away. I'm not supposed to be listening to this.
And sorry, and like Ryan pointed out on Facebook, sorry, I'm not into the mumble rap shit. I mean, I mumble enough in my normal daily speech.
Boy,
I need to listen to the old
Some
90s
rap.
What's that?
Some boomhauer rap.
Boomhauer.
And as an old cat, if you go back and listen to the 90s, early 2000s hip-hop compared to nowadays, the lyrical content is by far more superior because back then they were telling stories. They were telling of the struggles. They're not just talking about, going out partying,
bitches and money
and all that shit. They were talking about the struggle and all that, and it's more relatable. Because, yes, I may be white, but from the age of 18 when I graduated high school until I was 23, I was broke-ass poor. I was living on the hilltop in Columbus. Gordon spent time living in the bottoms.
That's what I was going to say.
We lived in basically the low slum neighborhoods.
You want to get out. You still want to get out.
And so, though I may not be that same race, I am living on the street in that community. And what I have found, much like in the words of ICP, the ghetto's got love and the love is all good. When you're living in that environment, color doesn't matter because you're all living the same struggle. You're all living on the same street. You're all dealing with the same bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so no one had a problem with it then, but it's like, and I'm not saying people do now, but with all the shit you see going on Twitter and all the people losing their careers and all that, it's just like, is it worth
social
it?
Justice warrior.
Yes, big time. The political correctness is very. You got to be very careful how you word things, especially on Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff now.
It's just insane.
But you're right. That music is an extension of telling a story that they don't do nowadays. It's not. They don't do that. It's clubbing and cars and women, and the women are talking about dudes, and they're using a lot. And I've heard songs now that just make me crack up because the chicks are getting as hardcore as the guys, and they're going, I got to get my dick, and I'm going, what the hell?
Well,
are women going around now, or young women going around now, going, I got to go out and get my dick, and all that sort of stuff?
Well, let's be fair.
Is that happening?
No, but how's that any different than Lil' Kim back in the day?
Okay, touche
By no
there.
means anything new. And
that is true, but
let's go back 7 episodes. When I said, how did I know I was old?
Yeah.
When the video for Missy Elliott's Work came out.
Yeah.
Once again, I don't mind the lyrics.
Yeah.
I am an old perv myself.
Yeah, right.
I enjoy dirty-ass songs.
There you go, yeah.
But I knew I was old when Missy Elliott's video for that song came out, because once again, the chorus is it worth it? Let me search it so I can find out how hard I got to work it. She's talking about how big is the cock on her gentleman collar. Once again, I don't have a problem with that. But I knew I was old because when the video came out, halfway through the video, she is rapping this on a school playground with two 5th grade girls dressed up is in similar dance attire as the hot 20-year-olds at the beginning of the video. And I'm like, can't we have the video talking about banging dudes with big cocks without the little kids?
Yeah, right.
Is
Can
it
we
necessary
switch
to have
it?
the 5th grade girls? And that's when I knew I was old, because I was offended by that.
Yeah,
Once
right.
again, it's not the lyrical content, but to answer your question,
yeah.
that type of music by strong female artists has been around for a long time.
Yeah,
because
but
they can be just, you got your little kids.
oh, they can
and
be
all that
just as
stuff.
dirty. Absolutely. I'm just saying it just seems as though they have, it's more pronounced now, like with this whole women's movement and women's power stuff, which, hey, more power to you ladies. That's cool with me. But it just, now that I'm hearing it, or maybe I'm just paying more attention.
It's because you're old.
And I guess that's what it is. I guess I'm just going, wait a minute, what the hell's going on
Well,
here?
since we've gone down this wormhole, and if this is on your news and shit story, Gordon, we'll get to it now. You don't have a TV.
No.
So you're not familiar with the show Empire.
No,
Are you familiar with the news story revolving around the show Empire?
No, not at all.
Empire is in what, like its 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th season, Gordon?
That's one I don't watch. I do like The Shy, but Empire I haven't seen.
But Empire is basically, I've never seen it because I don't watch TV too much. Like I said, I always watch the horrible Discovery Channel and the car shows, but it's basically about the hip-hop music empire.
Okay, the Empire.
The Empire.
Yeah.
Well, there's a cat on there. He has a pretty decent role. His name's Jesse Smollett, Smollet.
Uh-huh.
He's an openly gay actor.
Okay.
And like 2 weeks ago, he came out saying that he was accosted in Chicago by 2 guys in Make America Great Again hats.
Of course.
That they beat his ass. And his original story was that he was on the phone with his manager, walking down the store, and someone yelled, "Hey, Empire!" And he said, "Well, I don't answer to Empire. That's not my name."
Yeah.
And then they said they called him a derogatory term for homosexual and F word. And so at that point, he turned around like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then he claims they kicked his ass.
Okay.
They poured some sort of bleach-type material on him and put a rope around his neck.
Get out of here.
And so the Chicago PD has been going out of their way to go
verify
through the town.
the whole
They're
story.
looking at all the surveillance footage. They asked Jesse to hand over his phone, which he refused to do because he said he has phone numbers of other actors on there, and he
doesn't want it to get out.
Yeah, and I wholeheartedly believe that because as we've also talked in the past, a lot of times these leaks come from underpaid employees from certain places such as web server companies,
they would
law enforcement.
love
they would quickly
to do that.
Get that information out, sell it to TMZ, whatever. So I get the guy not wanting to turn over his phone. But the problem is the Chicago police, this is 2019. There's cameras fucking everywhere.
Especially in Chicago, man.
But they can't find any footage of 2
Get out of here.
wearing magma hats in the area with him, and they sure as shit that can't find them walking anywhere close to him.
Yeah.
And so Chicago PD's been under a lot of pressure. To find out where these 2 racist assholes
I'm sure,
are.
Yeah.
Well, this came out, I think, yesterday morning. Police sources. New evidence suggests that Jesse Smollett orchestrated the attack. 2 law enforcement sources with knowledge of the investigation told CNN that Chicago police believe Jesse paid the 2 men and orchestrated the assault.
So this is a smear campaign.
2 law enforcement officer sources with knowledge of the investigation told CNN that Chicago police believe that the actor paid the 2 men and orchestrated the assault on him that was reported last month. So this has been going on for a month.
Oh.
So you've had Chicago PD resources spending hours
hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, at this point.
Trying to find evidence of all this. The actor denies playing a role in his attack. According to his statement from his attorney, the men, who are brothers, were arrested Wednesday but released without charges on Friday after Chicago police cited the discovery of new evidence. Sources told NBC that 2 men are now cooperating fully with law enforcement. The actor told authorities he was attacked early on January 29th by 2 men who were yelling out racial and homophobic slurs. He said the attackers put a rope around his neck and poured an unknown chemical substance on him. The sources told CNN there are records that show the 2 brothers purchased the rope found around his neck at a hardware store in Chicago. The actor's attorney issued a statement to CNN Saturday night saying the actor was angry about these latest developments. As a victim of a hate crime who has cooperated with the police investigation, the actor is angered and devastated by the recent reports that the perpetrations of the individuals were organized by him.
So we're thinking this may be a giant publicity stunt at this point.
This is bad,
Which is my question is, why? He's on a huge
Exactly.
show.
How is that gonna
This show
shake
wins
out,
Emmys.
you
It's
know?
not
Yeah.
like the show had just been canceled and
This is bad.
he's like, holy shit, I need to get back into the public eye. What is the benefit of if in fact now we're still in limbo. There's no one saying there isn't any hard proof yet, but we do know the two brothers were released. Now we can't say Chicago is a hardcore right-wing anti-gay society. If
No.
anything, Chicago is Democrat. I mean,
Yeah, very much
they would
so.
love to find, two dickhead racist assholes in magma
absolutely.
hats.
Absolutely.
But the truth be told, the evidence isn't there. They can't
Yeah.
find any surveillance footage.
Wow.
And now these guys are saying, yeah, he paid us. And this hasn't come out yet, but I would imagine, going back to him not wanting to surrender his phone, obviously the brothers had to produce some sort of evidence that they were hired to
That
perpetrate
said,
this.
hey.
So chances are, this being 2019, the actor was probably dumb enough to orchestrate this through a series of messages.
Absolutely.
Whether text messages, instant messages.
Yeah.
And so chances are, because once again, are they going to just, oh, yeah, he paid us, okay, you're free to go? No, they had to produce evidence to the police.
Say, hey, look, I've
So
had
chances
actual
are they
contact
said,
with that guy.
Here's
I've had
emails,
contact.
because in order for them, as something as big as this, something has been all over the news, all over mainstream media for the last month, they had to have one hell of a handful of evidence to just be let go.
I wonder what this guy's problem is, man. I mean, what?
Well, if you're gonna set something up like this, I mean, you'd think it through, and there's always the chance of this being uncovered. Now, that could be part of the plan, but it's, to me, if this is what happened, and we're not saying it is, and we're not saying it isn't, the only thing I can see is that to further divide the country, right? That is the only thing that would come out of it. But how would you not think that these guys would not eventually be questioned by police, and then them thinking, oh shit, this has gone too far. No, we were actually paid off.
Yeah, somebody's.
And how much money do you think someone would have to take to risk going to jail for the next 20 to 30 years for committing multiple hate crimes? One, you're attacking him because he's a homosexual. Two, you're attacking him because of his race. And so, how much money did he think he was? If in fact this is what happened, I'm not saying it is, but this just going by what the CNN story said, how much money did he think he would have, get away with, and how long did they think they would actually be willing to go to prison for?
Yeah, what are these two guys going to gain, and what if he, had a, because I guess he wouldn't be able to file a lawsuit against the city because it wasn't. Right? Is that what you know what I'm saying?
He
because
could do a legal malpractice, but once again, you're in Chicago.
I know.
There's cameras fucking.
You're right.
You got
it's like New York
street
City,
cameras.
man.
You got Ring doorbell cameras. You got
busy.
Look at Las Vegas. Look at here locally. Look at where there's cameras on almost every street corner around now.
And so
everywhere.
And so once again, what is the benefit? Clearly, he's not a Trump guy. He's going after Trump supporters.
That's exactly what's happening.
In which the three of us are by no means Trump supporters. I could care less about the guy. If he does something worthwhile, I'll give him credit. If he does something stupid, I'll call him a douchebag. I don't live or die by the guy. But if this is true and what they're saying he did, he's basically attacking a whole demographic of people in this country by saying if you're in fact a red hat wearing a-hole, then chances are you agree with this sort of mentality.
This attack.
But now here's the crazy thing. Let's say it comes out that this is true. Is it going to affect his career in Hollywood? Doubt it.
No, but...
Oh, it will be spun to his benefit.
It would be spun to his benefit, but it's also, if it comes out that it was all set up, buddy, he's in a world, he's going to be blacklisted.
I don't think he'll be blacklisted from Hollywood. What'd be interesting...
Well, you're probably right, because
now, like
I don't want to get into
this has been going on
this
for a month.
This is a touchy subject for me.
I know, and this has been going on for a month.
He's going to make money.
Well, this is touchy.
I think at a bare minimum, if this comes out true, the city of Chicago should hand him an invoice.
Oh, you damn right.
Here's an itemized list of all the hours spent on this.
Right. Oh,
all
absolutely.
the investigation, all the time of our tech guys combing through hours and hours of surveillance cameras.
Extra, all that stuff.
All the payroll, the detectives.
Yeah, the detectives.
And then at the bottom, you'll see a 30% inconvenience fee for wasting our fucking time.
Yeah, if this has been going on a month and they've been really looking at it hardcore. Because
they've been under the microscope. Here's something that's horrible that's happened. If it is true, it's a hate crime. It's
Yeah.
On multiple levels. We can't have crazed
Involving
white assholes going around,
a public figure, television star.
beating up innocent people and then pouring chemicals on them. You can't have that.
That's gnarly, man.
And so clearly, I'm sure they had at least one or two detectives looking into it, not to mention the whole tech crew combing through hours of surveillance. So at a minimum, if this is in fact true, that this is bullshit, that it's made up, they should give him a very long itemized list of the labor that they have spent trying to figure out if this is true or not.
Oh, absolutely.
If anything, to possibly prevent other people from filing false police accusations.
Yeah, that one.
I doubt he'll ever see any police, jail time, but he should at least have to reimburse the city for lost money.
Yeah, because I don't know what the city, what on average what a city of Chicago detective or police officer makes. I'm sure it's more than here locally, but
I'm sure it's a ton.
But that whole thing of taking them off other important calls and all that stuff. Yeah, man, they should send that guy a damn bill, big time, big time. You mentioned I don't have a TV, so I don't. Everything that I watch is through
Internet devices,
YouTube. There's a couple other apps that I have where I can watch movies and stuff. I gotta say, speaking of television shows, I finally got into Game of Thrones. Have you ever watched that show, man?
I have not seen it yet.
Have you not seen it, Gordon?
No, I've never seen it.
Have you never seen it? Man, bro, I started watching this over the weekend. And, you binge watch stuff. And I've started binge watching some of it. And I'm going, man, this is actually a badass show, man, this Game of Thrones.
I'm sure it is. To get that big, it went from being a little cult classic to a huge fucking thing.
Monster show, man.
I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of people who went on and ordered HBO just to watch that show.
They had to have. And the special effects, I got to thinking about it, and I'm watching it, and I'm going, you look at Lord of the Rings and the Peter Jackson stuff that he did, and he innovated special effects and all that for that specific trilogy before the Hobbit trilogy. And I'm going, man, this is really cool stuff, with the orcs and everything. They really did a phenomenal job. And this show is right there on par with that on a an 8 to 12 episode basis, man, to go through. And what, season 8's coming up, I believe. I think this is the final season 8. And I'm going, man, that's got to cost some bucks, man.
Yes and no. Yes, it costs some bucks. But as you said, going back to the Lord of the Rings, which came out in early 2000s.
Yeah,
so that
true.
Technology is now 18 years old.
That's
it's been
true.
improved upon, and it's now readily available for cheap. Let's go back to the Matrix. No, let's go back before that. Let's go back to Terminator 2.
There you go.
And the T-2000 and the melting. The
the liquid metal.
They invented that technology, but 3 years later, it was so cheap that every half-ass Sunny D commercial to whatever,
you're right.
That whole goo thing got so effed out on TV commercials because now that software was readily available. It was semi-cheap, and the technology was known. So you go towards your Lord of the Rings and your avatars and all that, and the improvement of technology. Now it's more readily available and the lower scale, and it's cheaper, and the knowledge base. The people who are the people working for the CGI firm who do that particular show were probably learning how to do that shit in college 4 years ago because they picked it up from back in the Lord of the Ring days.
Yeah, I was just going, man, this is really bitching, man. Wow. I just thought it was fascinating because you've stopped by we've talked actually about you watching Deadwood and stuff like that. Now that's an HBO show as well, correct?
Yeah, I have been watching the shit out of Boardwalk Empire now.
Oh, you're on the Boardwalk Empire. That's another one of those shows, man. To get that classic look and that I don't know. It's almost as that overcasty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That grayscale.
And the two things those shows have in common is they're historically semi-accurate to the point that 60% of the characters really exist.
Right.
Now, obviously, no one is around that lived in 1925 to know exactly what was said. So there's a shit ton of artistic licensing. But you can at least Google Nucky Thompson,
Yeah,
and some of those characters, and see what they really look like.
Yeah.
And to me, it's always more interesting in the fictional stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's.
No.
I'm sure at some point, if I get down to watching that, I'll thoroughly enjoy it. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm always drawn more to the historical stuff.
Well, like I say, waiting all these years and then finally, tuning into it, I was just like, whoa, dude, this is actually really bitching, man. This is one really cool show. Gordon, you got a show that you're, like pumped on right now, man?
I'm actually pumped to see Billions come back on, but we've been watching Shameless.
Okay.
For the last 10-ish years. If you haven't checked that one out, Dave,
Yeah.
I think you should put it on your list.
I'm going to make a note of that.
Frank the Plank, who was played by one William H. Macy.
Yes.
Yeah, I burned through like the first 4 seasons, and I kind of got a little burnout on it. I'll go back and revisit it.
I'm going to make a note.
But yeah, Shameless is definitely a good show.
Just to catch some episodes. I'll check some out tonight because I got this killer app, dude, where basically everything's free. I love it, bro.
Now, if you have any bikers watching us live, I'm not talking about 12 speeds. I'm talking about the motorcycle riders.
All right.
I've seen something. I can't fathom the logistical reason for it.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like a safety hazard. And I'm sure you've seen them. You'll see these cats, right? They're on the cruisers.
Yeah.
And they'll have like a 6-foot-long braided leather strap hanging off of the damn handlebars.
Yeah, like the tassels in a way.
Well, they're longer than tassels. They're literally 2 inches from touching the damn street.
I know. Like when they stop, they go.
It's like if you're hanging a hard turn, what's preventing and you're
from hitting into the spoke?
Well, how's it keep from getting snagged on something on the street? And it's like, what is the purpose of that?
And the pedal keeping you from hitting your brake, your rear brake on the foot pedal.
I mean, we're not talking 6 inches. They're literally
dragging
going from the handlebars, and when they're sitting at a stoplight, they're about an inch from touching the concrete.
Whoa!
You never seen it?
I've seen on it had to have been maybe 3 weeks ago. I've seen somebody like that, but they weren't that long.
No, they are long. They damn near touched
They
the
were
ground.
long, but they weren't that long. So yeah, that's wild,
I don't
man.
know what the purpose is.
Well, it's probably.
I've not seen that out of here in Vegas at all.
I just googled long leather braid and it
Yeah.
completed 42-inch long, half-inch diameter silver. For $30. Oh, here we go. What is somebody on Reddit asked? What is
It's
the deal with
style
leather
factor.
braid? Hold on. I noticed a lot of writers from Eric have long braids attached to the grips of the handlebars. Color.
What does it say?
No, I can't read that one.
All right. Darn, man, that kills me.
I can't get it's Reddit, so there's no legitimate answers on here.
Okay.
Smashing jackass drivers.
People are just
nowadays.
Yeah.
Hot-headed opinions.
Yeah, Reddit's gonna give you. Yeah, Reddit's definitely gonna.
I mean,
give
I
you
can
the-
understand loud mufflers with the baffles for safety, but what's the purpose of these huge long-ass braids that could get snagged on something?
braided leather straps hanging down, barely touching not even an eighth of an inch off the concrete, bro. That's crazy. Because you're right. What's to say that's not going to get caught in the pedal, or even
well, apparently they have a
wheels?
quick release clip on them now, but I still don't know what the purpose of it
Well,
is for.
even then, man, what happens if it gets caught in the spokes of the front wheel and it starts wrapping up in there, man, and all of a sudden you end up endoing, bro. Yeah, that. I mean, I've endoed on a bicycle, man, and that's not fun, man. I couldn't imagine endoing on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I see this. I don't know what's the purpose of them for.
It's got to be stylistic, man. It's got to be stylistic. Anybody listening to us right now on any of our live feeds, we'd like to know if you guys got an answer or even, just a guess. Let's hear it. I'd love to hear it or call in. Definitely give us a call.
They're called get back whips. Let's see here.
I'm gonna give out the number real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
All
You
right.
have to keep people's distance off of them, maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows, man? But if you guys know, give us a call. Area code 772-207-4150. We'd love to hear from you if you got any kind of ideas of what these are or what's the purpose. I'd like to know. Seems kind of a safety hazard, man. I would
It
not.
does.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big time safety hazard. I wouldn't want those on my bike, bro. Bad enough having. I don't even know if you're allowed to call those anymore. Can you still call them monkey bars, bro? I mean, is there a different name for them?
They talking about ape hangers?
Or ape hangers, I
Yeah,
mean.
that's
Yeah,
what they used
monkey
to be called.
bars, ape hangers, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, bro, you're riding with those, man. You're just kicking back. Just
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're for.
So, Dave, you're a fan of libations, right? Some beer.
Well, I've been known to kick back a few. Why? What do
Have
you
you
got?
ever witnessed anybody steal beer and then take off from a beer
Oh,
run?
station?
absolutely. I'm being a young man myself. I can tell you that I participated in that a few times.
Oh, well, I've got one for you, and it was. And I'll just go ahead and say this is coming out of news and shit. And there's 4 or 5 stories I had. I think I'm gonna pick this one because it's a little more lighthearted, but it could have been a potentially horrible situation.
Yeah, I've been in. Yeah.
So, I don't think you've done this though, Dave.
No,
And if
probably
you
not.
have,
Let's
I'll be
hear it.
surprised
And
if
you're
it's still
teasing
not
me.
locked up. So this guy across the street from McCarran International Airport decided to steal some beer. And when he stole the beer, he decided, you know what? I am going to scale this fence, get over this razor wire, got a little hung up, and then take off across a live, active runway.
What? He
It
had
almost
to.
sounds like something you'd see like a quick bit in a silly comedy movie.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, something out of. Yeah, it sounds like the guy was already loaded and he was just trying to keep the buzz going, man.
But why?
Exactly. So he ran across runway 26 here in Vegas, and it did have to reroute some aircraft and delay them for a half hour just because some drunk asshole decided to probably get a 12 or a caser of
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
whatever,
Little
cheap beer it
Schlitz.
is, and take off across the runway. I'm just like, how jacked up is this guy to climb a 15-foot fence with razor wire, hop down on the other side and take off with his brewski?
Isn't there
'cause
some-
evidently well.
Isn't there more
Loaded.
easily accessible beer to be stolen somewhere in Vegas than by the goddamn airport?
Yeah, there's a guy there had to have been unless he had a long
Isn't there a gas
layover.
station out in the middle of the desert somewhere?
He had a layover, man. He was like, bro, I'm going to go get me some cold brewskis and just go kick back by the runway, watch the planes land, and have some
And he
smokes.
could have been a homeless guy. We've got so many homeless and squatters out here.
Yeah.
It's not, thank God, not as bad as L.A.
Yeah, and
But
oh,
I'm
yeah.
starting to think some of these guys are shifting up here.
Of course they
You
are.
know, and maybe it was one of them. There's no details yet. I'm hoping to see something here in the next day or two.
Yeah, I wonder what was this whole guy's, motive, man? What was his big deal? Stealing the beer? Now, I think, I don't know about you two, but I've, been on my beer runs when I was a young man. And I remember, I'd always literally drove a pickup my entire life. And I remember, the guys, I'd pull up, the boys would run into the store, they'd run out, we'd cover up the license plate. They'd always jump in the back and throw their hands over, and we'd just be gone, man, with a 12 or 24 case.
Check on your YouTube channel. Make sure there's no one trying to chat with
Yeah,
us in there.
I've been looking, man. It's a little quiet tonight. I don't know what you guys are up to tonight. You're just kind of staring
Yeah,
at
we
us.
have
But,
viewers there. I can see there's viewers there.
oh, yeah, there's viewers there, but... Yeah, there's viewers here. I see. Yep, absolutely. But I've done my fair share of stealing beer. None of you guys ever stole any beers before from the gas
fuck
station?
no.
Ah, man, to me, money was hard enough to get. Why would I?
See,
That's how I am.
You know
To
what?
me, it's not worth going to jail over some fucking beer.
Nah,
And I was never an alcoholic.
See, and for us, no, listen, for us, I wasn't even an alcoholic at that point. It was just a matter of
Trying to earn street cred.
street cred, raging, you'd show up
Wanted
and
that rush, huh?
you're 16.
That adrenaline rush.
Yeah, you're 16 years old, you're 17 years old, you want beers, you're going to show up at a party, and we'd run in, and I had this one guy that would always, these two guys, one guy's name was Wig, that was his real last name, and the dude would always run in, and he'd be like, I'll go, and I'm like, I'll drive. As long as you jump, make sure you make it in the back of the truck, man. And they would fly, the beers would fly into the back of the truck. They would come flying in. They would always cover up that tag, though. They were good at that.
So
Damn
you were
good.
the wheelman, huh?
Oh, yeah. I was always the wheelman. I was always the wheelman in those situations. Me and those dudes got into a lot of trouble.
Since we already potentially maybe bothered a few people with some things.
Yeah,
said,
we might have, man.
Let's just go ahead and piss off another community.
Let's do it, man.
I was
love
on
it.
Facebook today, and there's a young cat. He's been studying his ass off to get a certification in a particular realm of career, let's just say. But he's also a hardcore devout Christian. Now, before I say all this, I have nothing against Christians.
No, you don't. I
On
know
episode 2 of the Fail to Fail podcast, I interviewed a guy who turned his whole life around. He's dedicated his life to God. He's trying to launch businesses based around religion. So I by no means have anything against diehard religious people.
It's what works for you.
What I have a curiosity with is when you bust your ass, and before I'll explain this and we'll go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's on Facebook, and he said, "Hey, I passed, by the grace of God, I passed this exam, and I am now certified to do this type of career."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that's cool. So I'm reading through all the comments, and once again, this guy works for a church, so I get it. He's a diehard Christian. Most of his followers are going to be diehard Christians. But I'm just reading these comments like, oh, praise be to God, congratulations, thank God. And I'm just reading, and everybody's giving all the credit to God. I'm like, weren't you the one who was studying 3-4 hours a night, 5 days a week, on top of going to school, on top of going to church twice a week, on top of going to Bible study? It's like, now, if you told me that you went to church 3 days a week, you went home and you played video games and milled about, and you not once cracked a book, and you passed the exam, then by all means,
power to you, yeah.
All praise be to God. But you're taking, I understand that it's, in that lifestyle, it's key to be humble, and you want to be humble, and you don't want to, but give yourself some credit. I mean, you're the one cracking the book. You're the one probably studying 3-4 hours a night. You're the one, going out taking the exam and working, taking care of your kids,
making sacrifices,
kids, he has
man.
A wife. Once again, he runs Bible groups and he does all this stuff. But it's like, I'm reading all these comments, and like not a single person said, "Good job, Steve," which is not his name. "You busted your butt. I saw you for the last 3 months. You're always had your nose in the book.
We're proud of you,
Steve. Took care
Steve.
of your family, Steve. When you weren't at church and you weren't at work, you were stuck." No, it was all God is great, God is good. It's like.
Though those were the comments was praising.
Yeah, their reply to his original post was "Congratulations, Steve. God is great." It's like not a single person said, "Man, Steve, you busted your butt.
You did good." Yeah.
You were. It's like,
wow.
I understand being humble, but Steve, take a little bit of credit for your work, man.
Yeah.
Just a way to avoid sounding prideful, since pride is, I guess, a sin.
Well, and that's what I said. I understand there's, in that community, you want to be humble.
You want to be humble, yeah, absolutely.
But he doesn't have to prop himself up. One of the 38 people who commented could have said, "Steve, man, by the way, let's not forget the amount of effort you put into this." It was all, "Congratulations, Steve. God is awesome." It's like, well, yes, he's awesome, but somebody give Steve some credit.
What if the guy was so humble he deleted that stuff? Could happen, right? I mean, you never know. He could have deleted it. Could have deleted it.
It's like, take a little bit of credit for your hard work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in a day and age where no one wants to put in a lot of hard work.
Well, it's not even just that. Nobody even wants to say good job really anymore, man. You can work your tail to the bone and just like...
You didn't fuck that up.
Yeah.
What's up, Quentin Smith?
Quentin, what's up, bruh?
He's one of my old snowboard buddies.
Right on. But
it's like, hey... Once again,
think about that.
Just take a little bit of. Somebody give Steve some credit for his work.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, hey, bro.
Steve, good job.
Yeah, there you go. Let's all thank Steve. Steve, you did good, man. We're proud of you.
Knowing Steve's propensity for religion, I doubt Steve's watching this shit show.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I know that's not your name, but Steve.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some credit. You busted your ass. You went out and did this thing. It's not easy. It's something that. If you succeed at it, you're going to generate your family a great amount of revenue and bigger and better things, and your church is going to make a lot of money because of your tithings and all that, which is great.
That's cool.
But somebody give Steve some goddamn credit. I mean, come on, Steve.
Yeah, just accept a little bit of praise, man.
That'd be like, let's say Steve wasn't religious. But that'd be like replacing God with luck.
Oh, man.
Steve got lucky and passed exam. No, Steve busted his ass.
Yes. Steve,
so somebody give Steve some credit.
Steve got lucky and opened up these books and decided, it was all luck that got him through it. That's what it was. It's all luck.
And not to forget, there are a certain group of people out there who believe things are all luck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
My whole thing is you can't surf luck. Sorry, it just doesn't work.
No, there's nothing like good hard work, boys. You guys know that, man. Especially any kind of manual labor, mental labor, whatever you want to do, man. There's a satisfaction. I love, just like with D-Train, man, and your new table saw out there, man. That thing is just the coolest thing, and you can.
Except for the dust collector, that thing's garbage.
Yeah, we got to get that. Yeah, we got to get that fixed, man. But just being able to build stuff, man, is or construction-wise around your home, whatever it is, you're upgrading stuff. I think there's a satisfaction that comes with that. So let's say we're doing, us. I'd say good job, man. I wouldn't. I don't know. This Steve thing's got me disturbed now. You've got me all disturbed on Steve because Steve's not taking any kind of, hey, man.
And once again, I don't
Good
expect
job,
Steve
Steve.
and by the way, Steve, if you want someone to hear your music, sometimes you got to toot your own horn.
Yeah, you do, Steve.
Why do you think I now rock a digital 410 Productions cap? Because once again, if you want people to hear your music, you got to toot your own horn.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand, Steve, you want to be humble. But maybe some of Steve's friends need to give him a little pat on the back.
Yeah.
Give him some credit for his hard work.
Even if he's got to go and repent afterwards for all the praise.
Repent, it's going to be me because I'm a sinner. But that's neither here nor
Yeah,
there.
I know, man. We stay on top of things, though, bro. I think
Guys,
all three of us.
Everything left on your list of shit, let's just hold it off till next week
All right.
because we're getting near the end of the show.
Are we? God, man, it just seems like we sometimes just get going and we have such a good time, man. I really enjoy working with you guys, man. Thank you.
And for those of you who don't know, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, otherwise known as iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play Music, and iHeartRadio. You can also download it at d-410.com. You can, if you listen to this and you're not one of the people viewing us via Facebook, you can find our Facebook page at the Waterman D-Train Show. You can find me on Instagram at dtrain410. You can find me on Twitter at Donovan410. And if I said anything in the last half hour other than the stuff that offended the Christians and some people who think maybe I shouldn't be listening to hip-hop anymore, I do apologize. But hopefully you found something of some benefit. Life is hard, life is short. Go out and chase your dreams because one day you may wake up dead. Gordon?
I can be found at Aegis1974 at Instagram, and that's about it for me today.
All right, Brother Gordon. Hey, we appreciate you joining us all the way from Las Vegas. Hey, once again, we always love you guys for tuning in on your Sunday nights. It means a lot to us. And be sure to, let your friends know that, we're a building show and we're getting it there. It's only going to keep getting better every week we work at this. And like my buddy D-Train said, you can find me on Instagram, which is the only social media I'm on. That's Dave_the_Waterman. And if you'd like to purchase a Waterman and D-Train show shirt, you can go to d410.com, correct, D-Train? D-410.com.
That's the dash on your keyboard next to the zero.
That's what we've always said. So d-410.com if you want to purchase some merchandise to help out the show and help us build. We'd really appreciate it. And give us a call all during the week at 772-207-4150 if you want us to talk about something, a topic you might have, or just a general question.
And I am in the process of making some OG5 shirts for the original hardcore listeners
nice.
of the show.
Very good. Those
So
guys
look
will
for
be
those
happy.
shortly.
Those guys will be happy. And once again, you can check us out all through, like my buddy D-Train said, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Music, YouTube, Facebook Live. We're on just about almost every damn platform that's out there. But once again, thank you all for tuning in. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Woo! There you go, right there, baby. Digital 410. I love it, man. Love it.
Hope I make it. It's a risk, but I'll take it. Feeling like I'm living stuck in the basement. I'm just trying to get higher. Higher placement. Life is hard, but I'll make it. I can't wait. Wait a long time. I'm anxious. I've just got to get off. Get off this pavement. So they hear me across this nation.